Today, Gus and I are going to demonstrate to you what a prong collar is and the correct and incorrect way to fit it. Now, we have two different prong collars. We have the traditional one that you see in all the stores. There's pros and cons to this. The main con is the fact that in order to get this on and off the dog, you have to pull the links up where there's a gap between the two, pinch the links, and pull it apart. Now, the bad thing is if your fingers aren't very strong, it's really hard to push these two links together to connect the two or to unconnect it. It's especially hard when it's around the dog's neck and you're trying to take it off. Prong collars are made to give a light correction and not a hard correction. So a lot of times people will fit them incorrectly and they fit them on the bottom side of their neck. The downside to doing that is you have to give a harder correction for the dog to be able to feel it, because that's where all their muscles are. The correct way to fit it is right here, right behind the ears. Now, granted, it is going to slide down a little bit, but that's okay. Prong collars are made, like I said, to give a light correction. So if I were to put this on my wrist and give my wrist a correction, it's not going to hurt me. Now, obviously, if I have it fitted incorrectly and I go and start really yanking on it, it's going to hurt. So this is the traditional one. Like I said, you have to pull up on the link, pinch them together, and this is how it gets released. The other style is a quick release. Now, the cool thing about the quick release is there's a little button right here that when pushed, it comes undone. This is a lot easier for people who don't have as strong as fingers. That way they don't have to pinch the two prongs together. A prong collar should never be able to just slide over the dog's head. That's a good way to puncture the eyes. Also, if it's able to slide over the head like that, there's a very good chance that it's going to be too big for the dog, and you're going to have to give a harder correction. So I'm going to demonstrate what it looks like when the prong collar is fitted incorrectly. So first thing I want to do is I want to grab this little chain, get the end of the prong collar here, where there's that little circle, slide it through, and then I'm going to connect, just like that. So, the downside to this collar is if you were to ever grab the collar while you're out and about and you accidentally hit this button, you could have just released your dog and then your dog's off and gone. So, guess this. So, I'm going to slide it. So this is fitted incorrectly. You can see how I can move this, and it's fine. I mean, look at all that gap that there is there. I mean, I could stick my entire hand through that. That is fitted way too loose. So again, you don't want it to sit down here. You don't want it to look like a necklace on a dog. It's not a piece of jewelry. So I'm going to go ahead and release Gus. Actually, before I do want to show you what I mean by the corrections, and I'm not going to correct Gus because he's not doing anything wrong, but I will show you the difference here. So let's say, so again, it's fitted really loose. This is where the leash connects. So if I were to do it, I have to use a lot more strength in order to move him. So it's fitted way too loose. So I'm going to probably take a good I'm going to start by just taking two out. Like I said, I can always add them back. So, okay. So, I'm going to put it back on him. So this is still, it's getting there. So I can stick my hand in there. That should be about what it is. He could actually probably lose one more link. So So I am going to remove just one more. And it could be too tight. He could be in between sizes, but I am going to remove one just to be on the safe side here. So that right there is way too tight on him. Yes, it does fit, but right now I cannot get any fingers in between, so it's way too tight. So I'm going to go back. Oops. So I'm going to go back and put this on there for him. I guess. So, now I was showing you earlier how when I went to kind of moving back and forth, he was kind of giving me hesitant. See, I have a lot more control of them just because it's fitted correctly. Again, it's not made to give a hard correction. The prong collars are actually made to give a light correction. So it'll slide down a little bit, but for the most part, it's right behind the ears. It's not down here. It's right here on the neck. That way, I'm able to give him a correction if I need to. So this is how you properly fit a prong collar.